Oh no, Harry! Look out! There's a basilisk in this chamber of secrets! Don't worry, Jenny. I've got this cool silver sword I'll pull out of my hat. Stand behind me. I'll fight this... Who the hell are you people? What are all these circus folk doing in here? What the... Oh, now there's two basilisks! Oh no! Oh no, everybody! Oh, they've killed one. Oh, it's already dead. And this... Oh, and then they've got the second one. Great. Right, I feel fucking useless. It's really playing games, The Extinction. Chris, I'm the GM. Graham, and joining me today are Brian is Faith, the Tiefling Monk.
I was really hoping we're gonna get a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing because we're in the sewers, but
Garrett is Fabian, the Catfolk Rogue.
Hey.
stupid magic.
See what else we can kill.
Ross is Oarshus, the Lizardfolk Swashbuckler.
I'd like to start this session by holding my breath.
And then other Ross is Marion, the Half of Oracle.
The campaign is still young, Brian.
And Patrick is Horatio, his brother, the Half-Elf Wizard.
We are underground.
You are under, and damn it about the TNMT reference. Should have thought of that. There's still time, though, because you have encountered that here, much like you found in the Aroden Tower, and much like you found before, well, in a different sort of sense, in the Hermitage of Blessed Lightning, there's corruption, there's bad shit down here, and now there's Zolgaths, and those stink, literally. And they seem to have been desecrating and using blood to smear profane runes and symbols and images on what was once a beautiful temple to Aroden, Moonstone Hall. You've come down here because you are in Escadar. Mistress Dusklight, the evil catfolk owner of the Celestial Menagerie, is up to no good, has tried to stop your circus by sending her lackeys after you, and also is engaged in probably some illicit activities and is using Moonstone Hall somehow for part of her nefarious plots. So you've come down here trying to seek evidence. You got permission from Chief Constable Andera Paldreen, though she's a little hesitant, a little reluctant. She's asking if you find anything to incriminate her, please bring it back to me so we can go after Mistress Dusklight. And you have descended through this sunken hole by a mermaid statue in the woodworkers' slum district of Escadar. Come down here and found there were a couple of basilisk guards that you handily dispatched. Marion, being inquisitive, looked through the window and saw these Zolgaths, who have turned to you, pulled out their daggers, and are running in your direction. Everyone, please roll perception for initiative.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
That's right. Starting with a bang. With a bang.
Bang. Just give me 1 second here to get the baddies going. Yep, they are just running straight toward you, trying to kill you. That's what they do.
So they don't want to parlay.
Doesn't appear to be the case. You could always attempt on your turn to speak with these lovely little troglodytes, but I leave that up to your discretion. So it looks like first we have Faith. Faith, what are you gonna do?
So I can't see anybody. I mean, I can see what I'm supposed to see, but
Can't see
there
me.
they are.
Yep. You probably notice and clock Marion's shocked reaction as there's things running toward him. And I think Marion did call out to them through the window beforehand, and they seem to not reply.
What kind of movement would it be to go through the window?
Through the window? We'll call it a tumble through, like a squeeze.
What about through the wall?
The wall is made of stone.
Yeah.
So
Well, I took my Kool-Aid Man feat, so.
there you go.
We've
You
trained
can.
in phasing.
Can you do that?
I mean, I actually can because I took incredible movement, so I can teleport. The only thing I can do with that, I think I fail to see.
Oh no! So you tried to do a cool dive through the shattered stained glass window here, and unfortunately, kind of stop yourself on the edge of the wall here. Over there, and just kind of like smack. You have to push your hands away. You don't take any damage, but that you do spend the action kind of trying to get through and don't quite get enough space and enough clearance besides Marianne.
Okay. I guess I will. I'm gonna try
You can
again.
absolutely try again.
I can not roll a 1 this time.
I know what that feels like. One on a combat. move.
24, absolutely. You can this time vault over and into the room.
So that was 2 actions. This feels like a bad thing for me. How much movement do I even have? I'm gonna try to confuse these guys, so I'm gonna just run in the opposite direction. If they can maybe get them to split up, or so I'm gonna run to here. Seems like a really good strategy. And I'm done.
Okay, Faith, you managed to get in. The rest of you see Faith goes in alone with the Zolgaths. Actually, they are a little confused and unsure what to do about now. One's looking at the window, one's looking at you. The one a bit closer to you is its go right now. Okay. Check that real quick. Okay, so it's going to probably just come up to you and try to stab you with a dagger. That sounds
Not
like
very nice.
that sounds like a good idea.
In the aura.
Well, not quite
I don't
yet.
start my turn in it until it's my turn.
Right, so you're fine for the time being. So
I just
it's
haven't caught up yet, right?
yeah, the smell it's gonna waft over your way shortly. So it's one action to get to there.
I guess right.
Probably a second action to get. Probably just to there. Step over to that way and then lash out with the dagger in your direction, Faith. So
Cool.
dagger. Does a 20 even hit you?
No.
Dirty 20. All right, then there's not much that goes on there. Let me see something here. Okay. Marion, your turn.
I too would like to climb in through the window.
Make that acrobatics check.
Okay. Acrobatics check.
22.
Black check to see if I get screwed by ghosts. I do not.
Oh. Woo! All right, you make it through the window.
Alright, and I can just continue moving as...
Yeah, I think you would be kind of reduced to half speed, kind of like having to clamber through the window as that one action. So,
All right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go into point blank stance. I'm going to shoot at the one menacing Faith.
Okay.
Dang.
All right. 15. Unfortunately, no. You go pulling out the bow and arrow here, standing amongst this once glorious temple. You can feel the spectral energy, and you're kind of wary of seeing what your ancestors and what the ghosts around you might have to say about your presence here. And it's a little distracting for the moment as you go, and the skulker, the Zolgath, ducks underneath your bow and arrow. Is that your third action?
That is my third action.
Okay. So you fire the bow and arrow, Marion, in that sense of something dark, this presence here that doesn't belong, grows stronger and stronger till it feels like it is nearly at your back. And that is because it is.
Oh.
Oh.
As coming through the darkness out at you is something terrible to behold. Give me one moment. Okay. You turn over your shoulder at just the last moment to see a terrible demonic form. This evil creature made of blood, oozing out of every orifice, coming forward to you out of the darkness with a long spear in hand to sneak up behind you and jab you in the back with it. It will make an attack against you.
Cool.
Not
So, does a 35 hit your flat-footed AC?
Yes, it does. I am critted.
Oh dear. That's not good.
35.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least he asked.
All right. So, my friend, as this thing comes out of the darkness and this demon stabs you in the back with a long spear, with a critical hit, this is a combination of piercing, evil, and precision damage. Do you have any resistance to any of those?
I don't think I take evil damage because I'm neutral.
Oh, well, look at that. Look at you kind of skirting by the evil damage.
The neutrals.
So, in that case, it's just going to be a flat 30 points of damage.
Wow.
As it sticks into there.
That was
So,
just its first action.
well, not quite. It had to sneak over to you, and then stab you there. So it was flat-footed against that. So it has a third action here. Third action, we're gonna follow that up with a claw strike. So it sees you kind of like recoil in pain from the spear and swipes across you with the claw. You're not flat-footed against this one, but it is a 30 total to hit.
That will hit.
Okay, then you take 13 more points of slashing damage. And you all see Marion kind of... This you can see through the window. Ooh, Blood Vendetta.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen this one. No
Odd.
one makes me bleed my own blood.
And as Marion's blood scatters against the floors of the atrium of Moonstone Hall, you turn on this blood demon and issue a bloody vendetta of your own. So it has to... It just takes the persistent bleed damage and must make a will save, huh?
Well, it makes a will save, and whatever the will or whatever the save is, it tells it how much persistent bleed damage.
Okay,
Like a basic save.
it does succeed.
Okay, so it takes 1d6 persistent bleed damage.
Gotcha. Okay, so you make it bleed its blood, which is kind of everywhere. So, it's fitting. Okie dokie. Alright, you do that. That was its turn, went right after Marion. So then, Arshisk.
So going to the window is athletics,
Acrobatics.
acrobatics.
Yeah, you're trying to squeeze through. That's not terribly hard to, get up on the ledge and go through, but you're trying to not, destroy your back with shards of broken glass. Oh yeah, no problem. So half your movement to go in through the square and then wherever you want after that.
So have to go into square.
Your speed's reduced by half, we'll say, to go through the window.
I'm gonna go up here next to Marion, seeing that he seems to be currently being impaled at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go for I'm gonna try to trip him.
Okie dokie.
Try to get him off his.
Sure.
Athletics check. Against reflex.
No, this demon jumps out of the way as you attempt to swipe for the legs. I think you have one more action left.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide what to do. Tumble through is not an attack, so I don't take any penalties to it, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna try tumble through. Acrobatics check again.
Sure.
That is against reflex DC again.
A 28 will just succeed.
Okay.
So you do manage. It's having to dodge out of the way of your trip, and you follow that up quickly by going through it.
And I'll be there.
Okie dokie. This other Zolgath. You're getting a little close for comfort. We're gonna go over. Yep. Taking 2 actions to scurry over here, and then as you're focused on the demon, as Zolgath comes behind you, or is just going to stab you in the back as it's flanking you. So that'll be a critical failure. You see the Zolgath coming. Do you want to do anything?
Yeah, sure. How about a 29 versus AC?
Yep. That will crit.
Oh, a crit.
Yeah, that will be a crit.
So 28 damage.
So Oartius goes for the demon. Demon jumps over. You kind of skid underneath, and as you see this Zolgath coming up, ready to stab you in the back, thinking you're occupied with the demon, just upper claw right into the neck, Wolverine style, holding it up off the ground, withdrawing. The Zolgath stands there shocked for a moment before it collapses to its knees on the ground on its own turn. One shot killed.
Wow.
Damn. Just badass Oartius. Ratio, can you follow that up?
Somebody's trying to murder my brother. I can't
Yes.
even see who it is, which is pretty rude. I don't know what to do.
The arrow is. Probably could fire through and you can cover or something.
Yeah, if you fire through the windows, I'll say they'll have, cover.
But can I see the demon from here? My token.
What's the thing for viewing a token's site?
Because I'm happy to move anywhere I can get a. Wait.
Sure.
There? No. No.
There's like a command where you can
Everything. Yeah, there is a
see-
command.
Fuck, what is it? What is it? Trying all the buttons. Oops.
Command to see from player perspective. Oh lord. Control L.
Control L. Oh, why aren't you working? There it is. Okay. Yeah, from there, let's see.
I really just need to be able to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, leave it up to you if you want to be in that square or the one to the north. I'll say you can shoot through the window, just it'll have cover.
Okay, I'll take this one, and I'm going to electric arc it, so cover doesn't matter.
You just like, I can see it. All right, you shoot the magic through it, through the window. Let's see what it gets. It does succeed on that, so it will take
7.
some lightning. Okay, so lightning damage to it. It seems to take that zap in the back and look through with just, really unhappy about you. So that was Horatio, I believe. Fabian.
Okay, well, I'll use my first action to start getting here just so I can see what's going on. So I can use 2 actions to get here, I think, for movement, and then strike.
He's gonna
Yep.
make you do
An acrobatic check.
acrobatics.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I'm not afraid of acrobatics.
Don't say that.
Being circus folk. 23. Yeah, you can get through there. So it's been a couple actions you managed to bound through. All of you learned from Faith's mistake. It's like, okay, we got to go through this portion of it, so you can manage to get over there to it.
You want to go through the part that
Right.
doesn't look like glass, not the part that looks like glass.
Okay, against 28 against its flat-footed AC, that will hit. So
Okay.
8 points of piercing damage. And I think some sneak attack damage on top of that.
Yes, if it's vulnerable.
He's flat-footed.
It is flat-footed indeed. 10 points of sneak attack damage. All right. Fabian, you leap through, and this bounding, capering clown comes with the rapier and goes for a quick cut at its back as it's looking back at Awarshisk. Where the rapier cuts through its back, as a reaction, it is going to spew this red slime at you. I need you to make a reflex saving throw.
Okay, well, okay.
You like those, right?
Ooh! 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 Ooh!
If you want, you can't. Oh, you can hero point that if you want to, or you can save it.
Burn it.
Yeah, I might as well burn it, and let's see if I can do any better.
Oh. Well, I guess that's fine. That's still a failure. Let's see. Ooh, I rolled violent damage there. So you take 6 points of acid damage, and be so grateful that you did not get a critical failure on that.
What would a
Next time.
critical failure been?
there's still time, baby. We can still see. We can still find out what happens on a critical failure. But it spits some acid from the wound back at you. Faith, I need you, starting your turn in the presence of this Zulgath, to go ahead and make me a fortitude saving throw.
Are the Zolgoths still smelly when they're dead?
No.
Critical failure.
Wah, 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 wah.
I am not
What
gonna
is
hero point that.
happening?
All right.
Roll 20 is angry at us for last time.
Okay, so Faith, you go back and you're like, oh, because not only is it a horrible stink, it's a horrible stink you've had to be around before. So it's like the reminiscing about the time you've encountered the Zolgaths in the Iron Tower, and it's like, ugh. So you will be sickened 1, and then also taking a -5 foot status penalty to your speed.
Oh no! -5 feet. Whatever
you're
will
normal.
it
As a monk, oh no. Yep, so sickened. Yep, status penalty to value on all checks and DCs. You can try to retch as an action to fix it.
I'm gonna try to flurry as an action instead.
Sure,
So I'm gonna punch this guy.
valid choice. 32 will be a critical hit
Okay.
for 30 points of damage. So, oh, that's awful. You can break his skull and just absolutely, like Awarshisk before you, one-shot murder the shit out of the Zulgath in one blow.
Non-lethal again. Okay. This is not 5e, so I lose the second punch.
Had to slightly outdo me in both attack and damage.
Yeah, you go for like the second one, you're like, oh shit, sorry, and this Zolgath just.
I'm gonna move to here as action number 2, and I'm gonna try to battle medicine Marion as action number 3.
Okay.
And I got that -1 status penalty, so I'm just gonna do a DC 15. So just a regular treat wounds. Ah, but I critted anyways.
Oh my
Dang.
god. So that's what, 14 hit points restored?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Faith. You.
Yeah.
Ugh, stinky. Horrible. You punch, destroying the Zolgath. You run over with the healing hand, place your hand upon Marion's wounds. As the healing goes in, his wounds feel a little bit better. Marion, you feel a little bit better. The demon, after the gout of acid spews at Fabian, looks over as the healing energy goes onto Marion, and you see it just cry in pain and agony. And it seems to suffer for what you just did.
I thought I was gonna. I was like, does it have another reaction that's gonna attack me for healing?
Third 3 action heal. 3.
Yeah,
I thought
so...
about
I mean, I can't.
No, I know.
Marion, then we come to you.
I guess I could spend 3 actions healing,
We
but I have to heal
don't
3 different people.
I don't think we need a 3 action heal.
What am I going to do? You know what? I'm going to spend 1 action to pull out my wand.
Okay.
My wand of heal.
Whip out your
And,
wand.
I'm going to cast heal at 2nd level on myself with 2 actions.
Alright. So that's 14
So that's
plus
30 healing.
30 points of healing. Alright. So you feel a little bit better with the treat wounds from Faith. You take the wand and you see the healing energy washes over you even further. The demon is still reeling in pain from what Faith did. Seems it can only take this mental anguish every so often. So
Ah,
uh,
good to know.
yes, but you do feel a lot better, and a lot of the wounds that the creature gave you were undone by that. So it is now its turn. So I believe it's taking... At the end of its turn, it takes the bleed damage. Yeah.
Yep.
So, at the beginning of its turn... Yeah, no, it's really upset. It was planning on Marion dying, from what it's done before. So now that Marion seems to be feeling better, it's really upset about that. So it is going to just, even with people kind of striking at it from all sides, reach the spear high up in the air and just, full weight behind it. You can see a little bit of dark energy from the tip of the spear coming toward you again, Marion. So it will attempt another long spear attack at you. That's going to be a 23 versus your AC.
That... Hold on. That does hit.
Gotcha. So in that case,
It beats my AC by 1.
gotcha. That's going to be a total of 14 piercing damage. And with that dark energy of this grievous strike, you are sickened 2.
Ooh.
Yes, so both you and Faith currently are sickened to various degrees. It's going to do that.
Wait, what was that? 20.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you take the Oh wait, it's still its turn. My bad.
Yeah, it's got one more action. Let's see.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
You're so excited. Yeah, it'll do a claw just to follow that up with a spear strike on Marion. Does not like Marion very much. It's only a 17 to hit though. It's real
Yay.
bad. So now it's its turn. So if you want to roll the d6 of persistent bleeding damage for me.
5.
Takes 5 points of damage. Then it makes a roll of its own. No, still bleeding.
Is 1d6 or 2d6 halved any different from each other?
I'm no mathematician.
You know what? For ease of use, let's just say that it's 1d6.
Yeah, that feels right to me. I'm more of a feelings guy. Marshitsk, what do you do on your turn?
I'm gonna try to... Seeing that he's just, like, wailing... If I shove, is that directly away?
Yes.
Okay, so I wouldn't really be able to do
You
it
push
from
him
here.
into Fabian from where you are.
I'm gonna get up here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna try to shove him away from Marion.
Okay. Go for it.
So I assume shove is probably an athletics. Against fortitude.
Mm-hmm.
+1.
22, you go to shove against, kind of wedging your buckler in there, but the demon holds firm. You see kind of back legs and this tail of blood whip out against the floor, using its spear as well to brace itself, and it is not pushed.
I'm just gonna try to attack it then.
Alright.
Let's do a piercing.
Okay. 22 to hit. Will not do it. You go to stab at it and it whips out of the way.
Okay. That is my turn.
Ratio.
I would like to acrobatics through the window.
Go for it. "13. You try to scramble through. There's a lot of glass, and like there's been more debris now that people have gone through this way. And you're like trying to get through, but it's so sharp. You're not sure yourself. So first action, you can't quite make it.
It's that gif of Gandalf from like 4 minutes into Fellowship of the Ring.
Hits his head on the
I'm
ceiling.
just going to then have Protective Ward and immediately sustain it. If I can do that.
Cool.
I realized I could do that like 2 weeks ago.
Hey.
There's nothing that keeps me from sustaining the turn that I cast it.
Alrighty. You do that thing. Oh, I should let everybody else... Can everyone else see?
Nope.
There we go.
There we are.
Yep.
Yep. Alright, so that is Horatio. Fabian.
I will move back there, position
Okay.
myself as such.
Circling.
I'm going to strike the first time.
Okay, a 27 will indeed hit its flat-footed AC there. So you get the 7 plus 6 is 13 points of damage.
Is it going to acid me?
Yup. Make a reflex save for me. Ah, beans. Success. So on a success, you just take 4 points of acid damage. So it does kind of spit some back out at you.
Okay. And then I will do my second strike.
No, even flat-footed, that will not. It'll miss. So rapier cuts back and forth. Faith.
I'm gonna move to the space that's now open and protected, and I'm gonna do a key strike on the blood thing.
All right. A 33 will hit. So that's 11 bludgeoning and 14 force damage.
Yeah.
Ow!
Ow.
Ow! Your punches hurt a lot. It is bloodied
I'm waiting
from
to
that.
Try that again. How about 27?
27 will also hit.
It's not flat-footed though.
No, it's not. For 19 more points of damage. Good God. This monk.
And then just a regular punch.
Does it need to make a fort save for stunning strike?
It has to make a fort save, yeah.
Yeah, let's do this thing. Does a 28 save?
Yes.
All right. So it does not get stunned, but
Only by 7.
you basically punch a hole in it, so it's very hurt by that. And the 14 will miss. Okay. So that was
Really? I wasn't sure.
Faith. Marion, 2nd and 2. What do you do?
Stride away,
All right.
and I'm going to insult it. I'm going to insult it, spilling itself everywhere with Bon Mot.
All right. Is that
That's
against its-
22 versus its will.
No. This demonic form seems unmoved by your insults and just looks at you with bloodlust in its eyes and everywhere on it, really.
I look back with bloodlust in my eyes.
Intense stare off once more. Marion's specialty.
But not good enough.
Yes. So, that's Marion's go. Back around to its turn. I believe... Let's see. Yeah, so your sickened condition goes away. It is just a 1-round thing.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that. So yeah, those would have been even worse.
Oh. All right. You're kind of everything's going on, and this thing still keeps coming after you. It keeps coming after you to the point that it really just doesn't give a shit about anybody else around here, and is going to focus its energy for a moment and then teleport behind you, Marion.
Was that a manipulate?
Technically, it is a spell.
Does it have
Yeah, it does. Are you shitting me? Are you fucking shitting me?
I can't hit during my turn, but I can hit not on my turn.
So for viewers at home, attack of opportunity. If it says that if the trigger was a manipulate action, which casting a spell with somatic is manipulate, that action is disrupted.
Thank you for not making me say it.
only on a crit, right?
Only on a
Only
crit.
on a crit, which
That's
Arshis
correct.
just did. So what? That's 14, 20, 28 points of damage.
Yep. I saw him doing something suspicious.
You're like, no, you don't, and just stab your claw into the middle of this, pinning it down to the ground. It is just absolutely horrified now, and will just lash wildly with the spear at you, Arshis, because its last action just trying to just do whatever it can. Oh my god. Does a 37 hit your AC, Arshis?
That will crit.
Ha! A crit back at you. Can you take evil damage?
I'm pretty sure I'm neutral good. Yes.
Ah, yes. So it will lash back out at you. So including the evil damage in there on the crit, that'll be 8. 34 points of damage. between piercing and evil. So the spear just wildly flails out, and it hurts a lot. This demon's got some strength behind it. But now, it is the end of its turn. So go ahead and roll the d6 bleed damage for me.
Four?
4 bleed damage.
The blood demon, in just perfect fit of irony, bleeds out, discorporates as the magic of Marion in your ire causes it to... Hoarsis reels from the blow back, but still you see it just kind of dissolve into a puddle around you and is no more.
That hurt.
I'm surprised that something like that isn't immune to bleed damage.
Nope. Immune to other things, but not bleed. So the blood demon is not immune to bleed. Thanks, Paizo. For besting these...
Well, I mean, it definitely has blood.
It has. It has a lot of it.
Like
That's fair.
He's like discorporate, like, you know, pulling it apart, right?
Like, if anything, it should be vulnerable to bleed damage.
Yeah.
There's nothing but blood.
Oh, there's some art. You all get 80 experience points for besting all of these. And then... Actually, I can show you, I think, what... Yep, it looked like this.
Oh, glow dart.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mean little asshole. Cool spear, but he's dead now.
Yeah, it hurts. I have a hole in me.
What the fuck was this thing? What did it have against you, Marion?
I would like to roll religion.
Sure. Let's see. For Mario.
I would like to retch. That's a fort save.
Yes. Yep. Faith, you get rid of the second condition easily enough. Marion, you see as this creature is dissolving about you. Oh, I need to look at something because it's like a reference to something else. Because you do succeed. Yes, you do. All right. So, since you have now kind of gathered that whatever these Zolgaths are up to in their plot, they are conjuring and calling forth demons, and this is one of them. This is a blood demon, also known as a babao, an assassin, murderer, sadist. So they are born from mortal souls of lone killers, those that took pleasure in more personal murders, particularly those with grisly patterns to their killings. So it kind of made sense and kind of clicks at this point that, oh yeah, when you were able to undo and heal and push yourself further from the brink of death, that triggered its mercy vulnerability. They revel in gore, and when wounds are healed, they recoil in pain. So it seemed to, especially unlike that, since it tried to kill you and then you undo the damage that it did, it was unhappy about that. And also, their acidic blood is what they are made of. So when you strike them, they strike back with the acidic blood. And this one seemed to have some magic capabilities to it. Was trying to teleport over to you. They're sneaky. They do sneak attack. Also, a grievous strike is what they are able to do, and kind of use that spear to devastating effect. Which, speaking of which, the spear is kind of laying beside it and looks pretty nice.
Yep. You're a prey.
What is the symbol on the ground?
So I
What
think
check
you've,
would that be?
I
Or
think
did we identify it already?
I think some people have made some religion checks before, kind of in regards to what you're doing here, what you've seen here, and Horatio mentioned it as well. This is the symbol of Aroden, the dead god of humanity. So it seems that you found yourselves in a old temple to the dead god Aroden. looking around you at this atrium, which at one point was beautiful alabaster walls, pink marble floors, and these beautiful columns and frescoes and stained glass windows. There's a couple torches illuminating this room. You can see on the pillars. There seems to be passageways to the north and a small room to the south. To the north, there is a bit of a hallway that angles to the right, and you see that there is a door over here kind of along that hallway. There is also a door straight ahead of you, and then there is this chamber over to the side. On this chamber to the side, you can all pretty much see into it at this point. Walls of smooth rose marble surround a pool filled with a purplish sludge. A golden statue of a winged eye rises from the center of the pool, dripping dark tears from its corners onto the noxious substance below. Faded mosaics on the walls surrounding the pools have been disfigured with ghastly illustrations painted with smeared blood. So that is what you witness over there.
Can I get some
Did you say-
punches?
Did you say the spear had any interesting things of note? Like you said, it was maybe more than just your average spear?
It looks pretty nice. If someone wants to try to identify it, let me know. Since there doesn't seem to be an art handout, but the art for this is kind of cool. This is the little corrupted pool.
I will
So there's a little symbol there.
attempt to
and there's
heal
the pool.
Arishek first. Aha!
All right.
I succeed.
23.
Yep, 23. And then I'll do Marion.
So spending some time here.
Ooh, Marion, I fail. Sorry.
Ow.
Ow.
Ouch. All right. While Faith is trying to tend to your wounds here in the atrium, anybody else do anything to either identify the spear, or Horatio, looks like you're looking at the pool?
Yeah, I want to. First, I'll ping detect magic just to make sure this is not a horrible magical trap.
Okay. When you ping magic, the spear that the demon was wielding appears to be magical, as well as the pool. You get a strong magical sense from the pool.
Can I figure out what the pool is?
Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. Ratio. Okay. Yes. So, looking at it, fairly safe to say that this pool has been corrupted and tainted. It's not supposed to look like this. And there's, kind of a defaced nature to the room. You see the Zolgaths have been busy in here as well. And you kind of notice and look up from the pool to what's behind it. And you see that there are these 3 mosaics. There's 3 mosaics behind the pool. There's a lot of blood covering it, but you can tell kind of in the holy nature of this area that the mosaics are related to the pool, but right now the mosaics are hard to see the details of because of all the blood scrolled on, written upon it.
While I'm being healed, I would like to try to identify the spear.
Okay, so
Andrew, did you
Marion?
prestidigitation?
I did. And I prestidigitation the mosaic.
And I would like to use religion.
Okay, so we'll do Marion with the spear first. Yes, so easily enough, Marion, what you see before you is a +1 long spear. So just a simple magical enchantment to a long spear. And then
So just a
Horatio.
+1 potency, not striking.
Right.
All right.
Horatio, let's see. You can. It will take several minutes to do each of these 3 frescoes. Prestidigitation can do a
probably
little
have
bit at a
that.
time.
Yeah.
So, like the 20 minutes or so is Face trying to fix up everybody in there. Sure. Let me do something here. All right. Horatio, as you are magicking away the blood on these frescoes, take a bit of time to notice. Obviously, the eye, the winged eye in the middle of this pool, is a symbol as the Eye of Aroden, the god's religious symbol. You see the pool on the outskirts of it, how it's carved, and what little bits you can occasionally see through the purplish sludge. This looks like sort of magical material you've read about once or twice in the many books you've read. This appears to be made out of moonstone, a valuable mineral, a rock rumored to have magical properties. It's in its day beautiful, I'm sure, to behold. It's very intricately carved and very finely tuned together, like a master craftsman has made this pool and now defaced. You take the prestidigitation, scrub the blood from the mosaics. You see that there are 3 different sort of tasks depicted on here, like 3 different pictures of humans doing kind of very mundane, ordinary things. You see a carpenter building a chair, a musician playing the lute, and a scholar copying a text. These 3 mosaics are placed prominently around this moonstone pool.
Well, I look at the mosaics. I wonder if there's some kind of ritual to do here. Might unlock something. I can do 2 of these 3 things. Anybody good at music?
There really
Does
should
anyone
be
have any
somebody.
musical instruments?
The circus folk ask themselves.
So I'm gonna try to heal Marion again.
Sure thing.
It's been 10 minutes.
I mean, Marion can carry it too.
A little better now. I succeeded this time.
Hey,
Hey. Some healing is done.
And then I'm gonna take a minute to refocus. Will take only 10 minutes.
All right. So
I don't know how to sing.
all right. What's this all about?
So, point at the 3. I'm wondering if there's maybe there's some kind of ritual or something like that. Does this ring a bell to you? I mean, I can pull out my repair kit. I could make something, I guess. I have plenty of books. Pull out my journal. But I can't sing anything.
Could you explain what we're looking at again? I was stuffing my face.
Sure, Marion. Looking at this. So what you see, Marion, is this pool that is obviously corrupted. There's this purplish sludge that is roiling in the pool. The pool itself seems to be constructed out of moonstone, which is a very magical type of stone. at once very finely crafted. Has the eye of Aroden kind of on a pedestal in the middle here. And behind, now freshly cleaned off due to the prestidigitation, are 3 different frescoes, kind of religious paintings that describe, these 3 different acts that seem fairly mundane. A carpenter building a chair, a musician playing the lute, and a scholar copying the text. And that's kind of what you see before you in this chamber.
You know more about this guy. Does this ring a bell?
Marion, you kind of look over this and not, the foremost scholar on Arodenite lore and practice and traditions. Nothing stands out to you, obviously, about these 3 frescoes, although they seem to be prominently placed around the pool.
Marion shrugs. Maybe there will be clues deeper in. Clues. There will be clues.
Maybe close.
I mean,
It may be both.
it looks like they're just here in this area. We should try something. Okay, maybe it didn't work last time in the monastery, but we should try.
All right, fine. Marion's going to launch into a rousing rendition of Jimmy Cracked Corn.
The most human song possible.
He gets a couple of spoons out of his backpack and everything.
Okay. Marion, make a performance check.
It is a 22.
Okay.
Moderate performance. Fine.
Hmm. 22, eh? Okay. Marion, you give rousing performance of Jimmy Crack on with your little spoons and singing and whatnot. The rest of you are a little like unsure of what's going on this moment. It's a very surreal sight seeing Marion, the dour spirit talker, perform this upbeat, lively song here in front of this pool in this temple underground. But
Banging on some spoons.
he's banging on some spoons, and it seems to be pretty decent. The music kind of rings out a little bit in this little temple hall. After Marion finishes, maybe a little bit of a polite applause, you look to the pool, and it's hard to tell if it's your imagination or not, but it doesn't seem quite so dark and murky.
All right, your turn.
I will pull out a knife and take my staff that I've been sort of slowly working on making it into something different, and just work on carving it a little bit.
Okay. Go ahead and make a crafting check.
Ooh.
Sure, you kind of do a little bit of working on the staff, but then you cut just a little bit too deep, and you're like, oh, wish I hadn't done that. I could probably fix it somehow, but the water remains the same color it was before.
I'll hero point it.
All right.
I want this to work. 23.
All right, not to be outdone by your brother playing spoons. You're like, wait a minute, just kind of magic this a little bit. All right, and there we go. Just a little bit of extra hone and finesse in there. The staff is coming along very nicely. It seems to be, definitely usable at the very least as a good quarterstaff. But taking this woodworking time to do this bit of working here after your brother's performance, the waters of the pool seem to lighten even further, and there's just a bit of, a little bit more calmness to the water. Still a bit of a purplish tint to it. Not completely clear, but still fairly getting cleaner.
And the third one is a person reading or
Yes, it is a scholar copying a text.
copying a text.
So like at a writing desk and going between, a one book and another one.
Well,
Here, try this. And I hand Horatio a scrap of paper that just has the word "butt" scribbled on it.
Can't resist.
so then I will pull out. Okay, if this god weren't dead, this would probably be really weird. Or if this god weren't dead, he might object to this. I'll pull out my copy of Hymns to the Wind and Wave, which is another god's holy text, and start writing it.
Okay.
So just start copying onto this scroll that Marion has given me.
Sure. And I assume the rest of you are just watching these two half elves do some weird shit in the middle of this pool room.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how long is it taking?
It's taken, better part of an hour now in the after the combat and healing everybody and going through cleaning the pools and doing all this stuff now. It's
Well,
getting
Faith
clean now.
wouldn't mind repunching me and then refocusing or whatever.
Sure. I can punch you a little bit. I'll give you a light punch.
Successful punch. All right.
I mean, yeah. And I'll punch her. Oh, I'll punch Fabian too.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, thanks.
You're also injured.
Okay.
There you go. 13 hit points. So Faith passes up the lizard folk and the cat
10.
folk. Oh, 10.
You're getting much better at that.
Horatio.
No, actually, I'm sorry. 17. I clicked the wrong button. And it was DC 15. I got 25. So you get 17 hit points, Fabian.
Well, I do max out at 10. I am fully healed at that point.
Well, either way.
But thanks for punching away the acid wounds.
Don't know how
Horatio,
that worked.
you take out the book and try to write some of it, copying it into the parchment. You get toward most of the page and have to kind of write around the butts as you get to kind of use the other side of the page. And you watch the pool while you do this. It does not seem to change in color and hue at all. It seems that the pool does not react.
Seems like that's the wrong thing.
Does copying
Maybe
a
it's a
spell into your spellbook use a check?
Yeah, it
Arcana
takes an
check, I believe.
hour.
Takes a while.
I don't. It takes half an hour. Half an hour if I have a first level spell. I mean, I have scrolls. I have lots of scrolls. How do you do that? It would just be a regular crafting check of a scroll that takes like 3 days, 4 days. Copying a scroll. Maybe it has
Wait.
to be the right book.
Do you have
or-
PD's spellbook?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you have PD's spellbook?
I don't have it in my inventory, but I'm sure we do.
You definitely
We
someone would
didn't-
have
we
it.
didn't burn
I think
it.
Horatio would be the most likely person to have it.
Yeah. I don't know what she has in her spell book, other than produce flame.
I can tell you.
But I could copy produce flame into my spell book in like 30 minutes.
Yep. Produce flame, chill touch, daze, tanglefoot, shield, ray of frost, mage hand, detect magic, shocking grass, spider sting, exchange image, lock, hydraulic push, grim tendrils, sudden bolt, summon elemental, magic missile. All kinds of shit.
Elemental's a cool one. I kind of want to produce flame anyway. that would normally take. It'll cost me money. It's got the money, but
Horatio, as you're doing the kind of mental work to figure out, I can do this, I can do that, looking into it, something catches your eye about this scholar who is copying down books. The book has kind of part of the cover showing, and it seems to have just a little bit of the text showing, and you think you see the word history or historical or something along those lines on the cover of the book that the scholar is copying out of.
Can I then? Let's see. What kind of subject would I? I guess I want to then write. God, can I write a history essay, like a brief, like high school history essay about? Let's see.
The Isle of Kortos?
About. I could really milk this. About the. No, it's easy to be history. I shouldn't really go too far. Let's just do the history of Absalom. What I know about the overviews of the history of Absalom. Pull out a page, start. I don't have a history book with me.
Sure.
So
I'll say if you want to make a society check, you can do so. You start to write some stuff down, what you know about Absalom on here, and you're kind of distracted, like, is this relevant? Should this be relevant? Maybe I can write this. Oh, I'll change this. So you get kind of sidetracked a little bit in terms of what this little small treatise about Absalom is about. Also because there's a lot to talk about Absalom. It's a long, big city with the storied history. So it's like, what should I do here? Pool remains the same.
Anybody else have ideas?
How about we tighten the scope? Like instead of all of Absalom, why don't we just target a particular district? Maybe that will help you keep on track.
Or maybe it's supposed to be about Aroden. Seems reasonable.
So we could try just whatever we know about the Aeon Towers.
That's a good point.
What if we just had a discussion about it? Would that be good enough?
I mean, the dude's clearly writing.
Yeah, but it could just be the conveyance of knowledge.
Maybe.
We can have a discourse on.
If you all talk, I will write it down. I'm good at writing quickly.
Okay, who's knowledgeable about historic events?
Horatio.
I mean, me.
I have a little bit, so I could help.
I mean, depending on the topic, I can help too.
Sure. What?
Ooh, maybe a lore.
Oh well.
I have accounting lore. If we can, that's why I said I thought accounting might be reaching too much. The the various accounting systems of Absalom.
Well, so you mentioned talking about the Aeon Towers and what you know so far, because you did get somewhat of a history and some information from Harlock Hamdeal before you went to the first Aron, or the first tower, the Aron Tower.
Did.
So you can, I guess, have a discussion about, what do you remember from their conversation? And I would say, I'd say Horatio make. Well, I'll leave it up to the Calder brothers, because it's kind of a religion check because it does have to do with a god and their acts. So, I'll say whoever amongst you wants to make a religion check as you recount the knowledge you learned from Harlock Hamdale, and Horatio tries to write some of it down.
Not me. I'm not trained in religion.
Marion, still high off of your rousing spoons performance. Kind of talk for a moment. Talk about these towers and what you've learned from Harlock and, whatever this might be. And part of you probably doesn't want to because it has all this kind of destined hero, divine bullshit that you're not too fond of. But despite that, through something in the words you say and speaking of these towers, you turn at the end of that conversation, and the pool waters now shine crystal clear, revealing the pool below, the moonstone glistening in this water, a little bit of torchlight from the nearby column dancing off of it. You seem to have cleansed this moonstone pool, and for doing so, you each get 80 experience points.
Nice.
How many did you just say? 80?
Yep,
80.
80.
Wow.
That was as many as the fight.
You also...
Considerably longer.
Yeah, no,
so
time.
true.
Yeah, in-game time. It's taken an hour, a solid hour, to do all of this. You remain unperturbed here, kind of in the atrium, and not really anything else going on that you've noticed so far, but you just stepped inside the Moonstone Hall. You also now look and see that there are a pair of white leather bracers in the bottom of the pool.
Oh. I will take them.
You come out. They seem to be fine.
I will identify them.
All right. Make sure you do so.
Or will you?
And you do indeed identify these as bracers of armor type 1.
I will look at them. I will look at Faith. I will look at Marion. Horatius, you wear armor?
Yes.
And Marion, you don't wear armor, right?
I actually do.
Oh, okay. I will walk up to Faith. I will say, these are clearly for you or me.
I mean, I'm more likely to get hit, but my AC
Probably,
is a lot better than yours is.
probably you. You get stabbed a lot. I have magic. So,
I mean, I will gladly take them.
I
Can you
will
not-
give them to her.
Can you not wear them with armor?
They sort of replace. Actually, they're an item bonus, aren't they?
Item bonus.
So, actually, I don't need this at all. They would, they're duplicative of mage armor, because mage
Maybe-
armor is an item bonus.
Maybe it might want them too, right? That's up to y'all.
I think they go to Faith.
They give you a
Okay.
+1 item bonus to ACs and saving throws, maximum dexterity modifier of +5. You can affix talismans to bracers of armor as though they were light armor. Abjuration invested in magical.
I'm gonna peer through this window, sort of. What do I see?
You see the cavern outside. Looks familiar from what you saw on the outside.
Also,
Well, I am gonna put on these bracers. I mean, assuming they go with my new outfit. I haven't really.
Yeah, they're white leather bracers.
could always dye them, I suppose.
There's no like, because I have the hand wraps.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. I'm wearing healer's gloves, plus hand wraps and mighty blows, plus bracers of armor. Like all my items are like on my wrists, basically. Can I close my hands?
Open palm striking, right?
Yeah, you just get some, like, freaking Hellboy fist, man. Just big, chunky hands.
Faith can see me grinning as I realize, wait, these are like a permanent mage armor, better than a mage armor I can even cast. These are really cool.
Feel the magic flowing through you, Faith.
Do we want to check?
I would like
this main door or the side door?
the main door. I want to look at the main door first.
Always the front door, never the side.
Right, because I mean, we may be in another situation like at the monastery, where the main door is locked, and we have to go and figure out a way to unlock it.
Question: is anything I just did enough for me to refocus, or do I need to beg for another 10 minutes?
No, it's easy enough. You can take some extra time to refocus.
It is still early in the day.
Yeah. Okay. So you want to go through those double doors right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I should just check them first for traps.
Oh, sure.
This
And I will
place
ping
seems
detect
pretty
magic.
defiled.
Assume I'm always pinging detect magic.
Sure. Fabian taking a look at the doors.
Perception? Or what is
I got you. Fabian.
I guess is there a hidden roll?
Yep, it's a secret check. I got you covered there. Seems to be fine. Pretty ornate carved doors. I believe they are heavy ebony doors on the east here. Yeah, just there's two open handles in there. There are two kind of, round knockers there. It seems like you could open it up.
Okay. Is it a pull?
Seems fine to me.
Yep, they pull
It's up,
open.
it's up to fire safety. It should pull open, but I don't know if they have fire safety codes.
Well, if it's an exit door,
Well, here, you
toward
take
the
my door, I'll
exit,
take
so...
We'll pull it open.
Okay. You guys opening the door?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As you open the door, rows of splintered wooden pews face an oval marble dais 3 feet high. Wide marble steps lead up to the dais, and a polished mahogany pulpit stands at its center. A glorious fresco on the curved wall behind the dais depicts Aroden engaging in several tasks, battling an imperious necromancer, raising a pair of islands from the sea, and standing atop a mountain with his hands outstretched, wreathed in blue flames. Hideous images scrawled in tar and old blood, painted over the fresco, tell a vastly different story. A reptilian humanoid climbs a tunnel from the depths of the surface in one scene. In the next, he reaches out to snatch an orb from a tower drawn on one of the islands, then crushes the orb in his fist. This image repeats 4 times in slightly different looking towers, followed by a final scene of dead trees and skulls around the mountain. And, more pertinent to your interests, you see arrayed around the door as if they are waiting for you, 3 massive Zolgaths, hulking brutes with axes and spiked clubs and swords, stare around there, and as you open up, they grin. Behind them is another Zolgath, and this may be one of the most menacing ones you've seen so far, mostly in how freaky it looks.
Very spooky.
It looks like this. With
Ooh.
the spiked gauntlet, the red robes coming down, profane demonic runes on there, and this wicked grin, and this strangely out of place little diadem atop its head. It smiles like the brutes around you and says, "Feast upon them." Yeah! I would like everybody to roll perception initiative.
Boy.
Ooh. I was still in the process of opening the door.
Slowly opening the door.
Well, at least we can maybe we can kite them. They're very big. The doorway is.
I'm hoping big means shitty reflex saves.
We'll find out.
Oh yeah, zap them.
We'll find out after. The problem is, I'm like, they're in a line if I'm up to the north, which I'm not.
Not roll so hot. 4, 3, 8.
All right, these big boys are ready for you. So
Except for one of them. One of them.
I suddenly feel very squishy.
It's because you are.
Yeah, so these guys are stinky, kind of like the other ones. So powerful, pungent odor emits from them. Oh yeah. Okay. So this one is right by you, O.R. Shisk. And you see as it comes toward you, it has these like blood runes marked on its skin, and it has kind of like these little like fungi mushrooms as well that have been put on various points in its skin. It's just kind of horrible to look at, and it's gonna go take a claw onto you to just kind of, swipe you.
Critical failure.
Let's see. That's a 25 to hit you.
That hits.
Okay. You will take 11 points of slashing damage. As its second action, it's going to use that claw strike to grab you. So it's going to just kind of pick you up with this massive claw. Very unsettling. So it will grab you. And then it is going to take you, lift you up, and slam you into the ground. Just attempted to do so. So, I need you to make a fortitude save. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm like trying to cling onto it or something like that. I don't know. Pull my stop from being slammed into the ground.
Yep, you're kind of like, oof. So you just take 11 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are still grabbed, though.
Okay.
So that is its turn.
I like hit it square, or probably just next to it.
Nope, just next to it, so you're just grabbed in that current square you're in. Number 2 here. Let's see. Number 2 is going to take a slightly different approach. It's going to step forward, kind of blocking the doorway here, and go toward you, Fabian. And you see it has this massive maul that it goes dragging along the floor to just slam right into you. So it'll make a maul attack against you. That'll be a 22 versus your AC, Fabian.
My AC is 23.
Oh, you dodge out of the way just in the nick of time. Oof. As the brutal blow goes by and does not hit. Yeah, luckily you passed away, or not passed away, but you danced away from that maul attack. So that brings us to Faith. Faith, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna move forward. If I'm standing here, can I attack this one?
Yes, you can. However, I will need you to make a fortitude save as you enter the aura of their stink. You're good. You don't give a shit.
So that was one move to get there. Nothing to do the fortitude save. And I'm going to start punching.
All right. Is this one in the middle here?
Yeah.
Okay, a 24 will hit. So it's 22 points of damage.
And then second half of that strike. 21, probably miss.
A 21 will still hit. These are big boys. You just kind of like pow pow wail on the limb. It's kind of like thrown itself out with the maul strike, so you're able to strike at it. I guess it needs to make a fortitude save.
It's a fort save, yep.
Up, 22.
22, just barely. 22 succeeds.
Yeah, I did it. Alrighty.
And I got one more attack. Does a crit hit?
That's a crit. Yep, for 18 more points of damage. You come and just start wailing on this. Kind of, you hear some bones snap and crack. This Zolgath here is bloodied. You come just Faith with these massive meaty hands now. Just absolutely, 20-pound weights on each hand. Bam! Beating the shit out of the Zolgath. Oof. Okay. Fabian, make a fortitude save for me.
I would love to. Oof. Oh.
Don't give a shit about this stink. What do you do?
Okay, well, let's try to feint this giant thing right in front of me.
Against its perception DC, yeah? 23 will do it. It's kind of thrown off and punched a bunch by Faith, so it is flat-footed to you.
Excellent. And then I will go for the first strike.
Oof. 33 against its flat-footed AC. That is a critical hit. So that's 24 plus 14 is 38 points of damage. So it is hit, and as it does so, it lowers the maul for just a second, enough for you to come up and dodge to one side. It's looking over at the other side, completely leaving its neck exposed. The rapier plunges deep into the Zolgath. As you withdraw it, the Zolgath massive form slumps to the ground, dead.
Oh. Good for me. let's try strike the one to the south that's just hiding around the corner, if I can do that.
Sure. They big boys. Your whips around over to that one. 22 will hit. 12 more points of damage.
My turn.
Alright, striking out again and again. Marion, make a fortitude save.
Make a 26.
Yep, y'all are getting used to this stink.
I'm gonna move up to here. They are just outside of my range. So instead I'm going to hit this one that's grabbing a Warshisk with the 1-2 punch of insult and murderous intent.
Alright, go for it.
First the Bon Mott, that's a 14, that's no good. Next,
Doesn't care.
Demoralize, there we go.
Ooh, yeah, that'll do it. That will critically do it. It is frightened 3 on that?
On a critical, that's Frightened 2.
Frightened 2, okay. Alright, yeah, as it kind of slams Oarshisk in the ground, Oarshisk brace, Marion comes up before the full power of dread, ghostly wisps of energy echoing off of you, and it's like... really scared of the little half-elf. Okay. Is that your go, Marion?
That is my go.
Alright. Oarshisk made a fortitude save for me.
Okay. Do you want to make one then? I can do that.
Yes. I guess...
I mean, it's like, how do you want to rule it? Like, if like, we didn't...
If you
come
kind of...
upon
Yeah.
them, they didn't get a surprise round, but like... So, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'll say this happened fairly quickly after you opened the door. You weren't quite expecting it, so... yeah, I'll say make the fortitude save on this occasion.
Can I hear him like that?
You sure can, if you want.
Is it even worth it? I mean, you're slow.
It's usually sickened.
Right, but you're sickened normally. I'll take the crit.
Alright, you are sickened 1 and a -5 foot status penalty to speeds. You're not as used to the stench because you've been usually holding your breath for all this time, but these OR6 are suddenly on the other side of the door, and one of them's grabbing you. It's very close to pulling you toward it. So, you are sickened 1.
Sickened 1. Okay, I'm gonna try to like squirm out.
Alright, so you can try an escape action.
Escape.
Yep. So unarmed attack, acrobatics, or athletics.
Do I hear a point?
Well, when to use that hero point?
I know, right? Yes. Let me hero point that. I'm gonna try a different squirm. Squirming a different direction. Well, I guess
Or heroic squirm.
DC is reduced by 2.
That is a good point. It did
It's
grab you.
frightened 2.
It's frightened 2. So I guess it's against its athletics DC. So a 21 is not quite enough. You squirm and squirm and squirm, so that's your first action is that first attempt at escaping.
Okay. I guess I will try again. So it's a -5, right?
Escape does have the attack trait. Shit.
I guess I'll raise my shield, and that's my turn.
Alright, you put up a little shield trying to interpose yourself. Ooh, does raise a shield, is that a manipulate action?
No, I
Sure is not.
It is not. Okay, then we're good. Okay, Horatio, make a fortitude save.
I was trying to get out of that grab.
Ooh.
A 10. A 10
Second.
might critically fail on its own.
Second one, and minus 5-foot status penalty to speed for 1 round. The stink gets to you.
So I am going to cast Protective Ward, and then I will Electric Arc the new big one.
Okie dokie. The scaredy one.
The 9. And the DC should be 21. I will put that in
21. Okay, the scared one succeeds even though it is frightened, and the other one... the other one fails. Yep. So we'll zappy zap on these guys. As you feel the stink infiltrate your nostrils. That was a ratio. Alright, this biggie guy here. Let's see. We're gonna go for grabbing. We're gonna go for grabbing Fabian. So this guy down here, as you stab at it, goes to grab you. That'll be a critical hit.
Oh, so
On
you're
Fabian.
also restrained.
The grab is a second action that it does after the attack.
Okay.
So you just take a lot of damage. 24 points of slashing damage, Fabian. As it does grab into you. So its second action will be to follow up on that with a grab. And then it's going to do like it tried to do to the other one's doing to Arashis and slam you into the ground. So go ahead and make a fortitude save for me, Fabian. Ooh.
Well, I'm out of hero points, so I guess I take it.
Ooh. Well, there's damage and there's a secondary effect. So it lifts you off the ground and then bam! Your head hits hard against the marble floor of this temple. You take 11 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are stunned. Just flat stunned. So it just absolutely.
Kidding.
Yep. So.
Probably a concussion.
Yep. Probably.
It's okay. Faith can punch me in the head and fix the concussion. Eventually.
I don't have to. I just have to do it an even number of times. Or wait, an odd number of times because you already got punched in the head once. See, this is where medicine gets tricky.
That's true.
Um.
Well, our training comes in.
Okay. So.
This is what I was worried about.
Huh. The one in the back. That does not seem to be a brutish one, but a bit more cunning, sly. It's looking around at you all. And it's going to conjure forth a spell. It's going to... Yeah. Need to grab something real quick. Let me see. I don't have a good thing for this, apparently. It's going to put forth... a spectral weapon. And it's going to send it right back here. Whoop. A spectral great axe manifests itself. And it's going to go ahead when it casts it. There we go. Have it attack Marion from the back. Spell attacks. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so that'll be a 28 to hit you, Marion.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, you will take 8 points of force damage.
Ow.
Yep, and then it is going to it's going to kind of, as it does this, send it out with one hand. It has this kind of like spiked gauntlet in the other hand, and it's going to do one of these like come closer to me and move over to here, 10, 15, to about there. Okay, that's its turn. Then we're back up to the top with the one that's got Oarshisk there.
Right.
It's gonna slam you into the ground. So go
Fortitude.
ahead and make a fortitude save with that -1 from being sickened. Okay, you take four. Oh,
Not do the -1.
doesn't look like it said like it's 7 plus 11. Just plus
Well,
11 your normal fortitude save bonus.
It wasn't putting in the -1 per second for me,
7 plus 11.
but it should have decreased your saving throws. 'Cause I know it did.
It did, because my previous fortitude save was plus 12.
Okay, then yeah, 18
So it
total.
just doesn't include the it includes the -1, it just doesn't show it. Okay.
Yep. So you take 14 points of bludgeoning damage, and then you take a hit on the head, but not quite as bad as Fabian did. You are just slowed 1. But after it does that,
Wait, what is that's relevant?
slowed 1 is you lose 1 action at the start of your turn.
I- But stunned is you can't take reactions, right?
Yeah, stunned, no actions, no reactions.
Got it.
Slowed, you can still
Slowed,
do
you can still take
reactions.
reactions.
Yeah. So it slams you down there. Then it's going to, while it's got you kind of with one hand, it's going to, let's grabbed you. It's going to try to just like eat your face off, with a brutal blow. Oh wait, it can't do that. No, it's just gonna try to eat you. So that will be a 23 against your flat-footed and -1 AC.
Oh yes, minus flat-footed and -1. Yeah, that'll hit with all of those penalties.
Okay. Rolled really well on the damage. You take 23 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And so it slams you, bites you, and then don't you have to maintain the grab as an action?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
unless they have improved.
No,
grab.
it is not. He maintains the grab as the other action, and his frightened condition goes down by 1. Okay. Faith.
I guess I'm gonna move. I'm gonna step on the corpse of the dead one.
And having a -3 to your defenses really suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna move to here and start punching the one that's on top.
Okay.
Flurry.
Ooh, 19, not quite enough even with that -1 from being frightened.
Try again.
20 is
Over a
enough. 20 is enough. It takes 10 points
I
damage.
think I have solved your mystery.
Yeah.
And 15 also misses.
Yep. Does it take the
Yeah, I did
fort?
flurry, so it has to do a fort save.
Okie dokie. Ooh, critical failure.
So it's done 3.
Let's find out. Yeah, stun 3.
Ooh, yeah.
Does it?
So it's
make-
stunned.
Does it? Okay, is it still grabbing somebody if it's stunned?
Can't act.
It would lose it on its turn, if nothing
Yeah,
else,
lose it on its turn.
because
Yeah.
it will
'Cause
not
it-
have the
it-
abilities to sustain it.
It won't be able to sustain. But the issue is that Arashik would still be stunned until it's turn. So it would still be grabbed until it goes.
Grabs it. It's good. And go target to this turn. Hang on. Yeah, no, if he's stunned, I think he releases the grab. That seems appropriate to me. But Oarshisk is still slowed 1.
Yeah.
So, Faith, you come forward, bow, pop this Zolgath right in the nose. Releases. Just people stunned all over the place. Is that the end of your go, Faith?
Yeah.
Okay. Favian, you are simply stunned for this round.
I accept.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yep. Just stunned. Cannot do anything, but after that, you're no longer stunned. So then we come to Marion.
It's like it's stunned again.
Yes, that could happen.
I will accept this invitation against my better judgment,
Okay.
and I run in. I assume the point blank stance, and I'm going to try to shoot them.
Okay.
Spurred on by my ancestors.
Shoot the guy who beckoned you in here.
Yeah.
Okay. A 25 will hit.
Yay!
So it takes 4 points of piercing damage.
So that's my turn.
All right. Oarshisk, you are slowed 1, so you lose an action, but then you can do what you wish.
I think this is too far out. I'm gonna... Not doing so hot, but I can't just sit back and do nothing either. So impetuous as always.
All right, you run. Run at this creature. Okay. Okay, so that's your 1 action to get over there, yeah?
That's 2 actions.
2 actions to get over there. Okay.
Do I still have -5 feet?
No, that just lasts for 1 round.
Oh,
So
okay. I think
you're
it was still 40
second
feet
1.
yet, though.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Roarshis, you run in after Marion and see this one just kind of very much kind of movements of Dancer of the Boreal Valley, kind of long, lanky.
A dervish.
Yep, just to make it suck a little bit more. Horatio, on to you. Spectral axe floating nearby.
The very annoying thing. I've been tracking my prepared spells in my spell attack roll notes section. Because trying to track multiple levels of the same spell in this sheet is trash. So I clicked the sicken button, gave myself sickened, and Roll20 has overwritten my prepared spell list with the description of the thickened condition.
Oh, no.
I know what I have at 3rd level, and it's not helpful right now. I will try and remember what I had prepared. Shit. What do I... Okay, so I'm going to cast a 3rd level 3-action magic missile.
Ooh.
At Bro down here.
Oh, shit. Through the doors.
Because his shitty weapon is not worth trying to dispel.
Okay. So that's 8, 11, 14, 19, 23 points of damage?
Yep.
Okay. Horatio just kind of feeling annoyed about all this. Missiles fly across the chamber through the Temple of Aroden, and the entire time this Zolgath maintains this grin as it is stricken several times with the magic missiles, but still seems to be up and fighting. So that was Horatio. This Zolgath, it's got Favian in its clutches. Just slamming the clown over and over again into the floor. So I need you to make another fortitude save.
Dear.
Favian.
Oh dear.
Alright, not a critical failure this time. You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are slowed 1. So just a little, you kind of come to and you're still in the clutches. And then, let's see. Yeah, it's gonna try to eat you. It's just second action. Just to do a little chompy chomp. That's a 20 total versus your flat-footed AC.
Okay. That will hit.
Against your flat-footed AC?
Against flat-footed, yeah.
Bummer, because that is
Wait, what, your AC normally is what?
23. Flat-footed means you lose your dex, right? Your dex.
No, just
No?
-2.
just
Minus 2.
Minus 2? Oh, then 21 would be my total. Okay.
So it doesn't hit.
Yeah,
Woo!
it doesn't hit. Oh,
Good
thank
catch,
God.
Ross.
Sorry, I was thinking like, oh yeah, flat-footed, lose your dex.
You're thinking like 3.5 Pathfinder rules, yeah.
I am thinking.
Yep. Nope, flat-footed is just a straight -2 circumstance penalty to AC. So...
We do get the same AC.
Yep. Luckily, that bite, you just kind of duck your head a little bit to the side. So its third action is just going to maintain its grab on you there. Okay, this one. So, it's going to sustain the spiritual weapon.
It's sustaining a manipulate action.
Ooh, boy.
I don't think it is. I think it's just concentrate.
Let's see. I think it's probably just concentrate. You're probably right.
Well, whatever it does
Check.
next, I'll feel that thing.
Sustain a spell, concentrate only.
Okay.
So when it does that, it looks like it can move it to any place within range to make another attack. Yeah. Move it to a new target within range. So it's going to have the axe zoom across the room and go right at Oarshisk. It kind of like drags the axe through the air and goes after you. So Oarshisk does a 26 hit your AC? Second one. Okay. You take 8 whole points of force damage. It's going to do that, and then it's going to follow that up with its second attack with the spiked gauntlet it has in its lashing at you with that. So it makes a second attack against you. Yeah, so does a 29 hit your AC?
It does.
Okay. Then you're going to take 10 more piercing damage. Plus, I need you to make a fortitude save. That is not enough. Where did you go? Double check something here. Okay. A demonic syllable and words echo out from its mouth. And you are frightened too by this horrible, nasty amount of words that it is saying. So that's 1, 2. Third action.
Does that stack with Sicken? It does, doesn't it?
Sicken status penalty. Frightened. Frightened's also a status penalty.
So no.
So no.
Okay, well, roll 20 seems to think differently. Also, somehow my shield AC is lower than my regular AC.
That can't be right.
19 if I hold my shield up, but a 20 if I don't.
Well, speaking of shield, it's going to put up a shield of its own. Magically.
Is that a manipulate action?
That's what I'm looking up right now.
It is verbal on the
It's
casting.
Just verbal.
Yeah,
Yep.
shield is. Yep.
I guess it would kind of stink if it wasn't. 'Cause...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, be pretty bad.
Although attack of opportunity is not as...
That's true, yeah.
Okay, this Zolgath is stunned. So it just loses its turn. But at the end of the turn, it's also going to reduce its frightened condition. So then it just ends its turn. Faith.
Well, I guess I'm going to punch that guy. Don't like him very much. I'm going to flurry.
$25, y'all. That'll hit for 11 points of damage. Uh,
28.
28 would also hit for 12 points of damage.
And I have to make a fort save.
Fortitude save on this buddy. 26.
That will pass.
Alright.
Second action, I'll punch it again. 16 is going to miss.
It is.
And I'm going to try battle medicine on Fabian. I fail though, so nothing happens.
Nope, you try to reach Fabian, but it's still in the grasp. The Zolgath pulls Fabian out of your reach just for a moment. Fabian is in your go. You're slowed one, so you lose one action this turn, but then you're just grabbed after that.
Okay, I do have to break that grab. Hold on. Didn't Faith hit that guy with Flurry of Blows again?
Yeah, we made the fortitude save.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, he passed.
I heard everything except that part.
What do I have to do to break from the grab? From the
You can try to make a athletics check, or sorry, an acrobatics or athletics check, or an attack, an armed attack.
Let's try the acrobatics to get out.
Okay, against its athletics DC, a 29 is successful. You do manage to wrench yourself out of the grasp of the Zolgath. So you have one
Okay.
more action left.
Yeah, now the question is, do I run away or do I try to help they? I'm so injured. Well, let's.
You'll be a lot easier to heal if you're not dead. So.
Yes, this is true.
Okay. Well, then I will do a strategic retreat for the time being.
All right, and you back away. The Zolgath kind of sees you wrenched free, looks back at you, angry. Marion.
I'm going to
Let's hope that wasn't a mistake.
hit Orarshis with a second level 2 action heal. That's 32 hit points.
Healing energy washing over Warshisk.
And I have 1 action left.
I feel a bit better.
I'm going to try to demoralize the creepy one.
All right.
Intimidation,
Ooh.
flat check. Yes, everything is going great.
All right. It kind of cocks its head. It's still smiling, but kind of like a little bit of a sweat down its side of its head. It's like, you're maybe creepier than I am. It's a little rattled by that. So, all right. That was Marion's go. Oh, Arshisk.
Okay.
Frightened 2.
Despite that, I'm gonna try to trip it. Which is a athletics check.
A 29 is a critical trip.
Bam. 1d6, right?
Yep, 1d6 bludgeoning damage. As it falls to the ground.
What?
Hard. So hard. Bam! 1 whole point of damage. Looking up at you from the ground.
Now I have panache.
You do.
So I'm going to attack. Yes, just attack.
Okay. That will hit. It will use its reaction for the shield block. So it will break and dispel the shield, but will reduce that. It was 11 points of damage.
Yeah, 8 slashing and
Okay.
3 precision.
Gotcha. So that does that, and the shield goes away.
That's 2, and then I'm gonna try retching.
Okay. So go ahead and make your fort save. It is a -2 penalty because you're still in the aura of the stink. But they don't give a shit. You're like, yeah, it's fine. You
And
retch.
immediately hold my breath.
Yep. You hold your breath to avoid that happening again. All right. Then we're on
And then
to.
I lose a frightened.
Yeah, you'll go down to frightened 1.
Okay.
Then Horatio.
Can I do a line where I hit this one and also little guy? I could also move. If I'm
Yeah, where you are.
like, okay. That means Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt.
Lightning.
Both of my level 3 spells. Where is lightning?
Yeah, you don't have to go to the center of them, right? You just have
You're
to go
not
to
in alphabetical order, which is entirely my own fault. There it is.
Lightning.
Only an 18. And the 21 is correct.
Okay, so the big Zolgath in front makes a reflex save. And fails. Takes 18 points of lightning damage. And then the one that is frightened on the ground there makes a reflex save. And also fails. Yeah, and is bloodied, actually. Alright, those 2 actions.
I need a third action. Can't cast Protective Ward again. I will cast Shield.
Shield. Alright. Then this big Zolgath that just got hit with lightning. Let's see. Ooh, we got a nice little faith. Gonna make a little faith sandwich. It's going to step forward, flanking with the other big brute. This little tiefling's got 2 giant Zolgaths between her, and then it's going to claw at you. Against your flat-footed AC, that'll be a 34 versus your flat-footed AC.
I think that's a crit.
I believe that's probably a critical hit, yeah?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's a crit.
Alright. So that'll be 30 points of slashing damage. And then on its last action, because it had to move to get over here, it is going to grab you. So it's just kind of grabs and holds you up a little bit. Then this one on the ground. Let's see here. What can we do about this? Prone. Well, I think we're gonna try to stand up. That's not a it's just a move action.
It is a move action.
It is a move action.
Oh no!
Do it.
I was worried about this. Okay, it attempts to stand up. It's a move action.
Okay. Not a crit this time.
Nope. But a 24 will hit for 16 points of damage.
Yeah.
Ow. But I don't think it has the manipulate trait, so it doesn't get interrupted. Still stands. Yeah. But
And manipulate only gets interrupted when it's
on a crit. That's right. Okay, so you kind of, as you see it coming up, and you're like, "No, stay down!" It kind of comes up to its feet, looks up at you. Demonic energy radiating from its hands. This Zolgath is going to lash out at you.
Hot lizard on lizard action.
Nice. Ooh, let's do this one. Yeah, let's do this one. Oh wait, this doesn't look right. Does it? This is a save? Do you get a save? I think it's a save. I think it's yeah, make a fortitude save for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, not enough, but it's not a crit failure, so there's that.
That is a success. So instead, you take 12 points of negative damage as it sucks the life force from you.
Oh,
Uh,
if
and,
that's what I think it is,
and then,
that's a scary spell.
yep, it's seeing it rejuvenated somewhat
Yeah.
due to that.
Vampiric Touch has the death trait. If that knocks you to 0 hit points, you are dead.
Don't spoil it.
Okay, but in doing that, it does not sustain the axe. The axe disappears. So that is that. It goes down no longer frightened. And then this guy. Well, we got a Faith just kind of standing right here between you.
Well, he's not standing. He is grabbed.
Grabbed, yeah. Well, it's still gonna.
Still standing.
I'm still standing. It's gonna take this big old maul and just like you're a hammer or a nail, and the other one's holding you there. It's gonna take the maul, bam, 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 and just gonna slam Faith into the ground a few times. So the first one is gonna be a 34 against your flat-footed AC.
Oh,
Another
God.
crit.
Okay, well, doesn't need to do much. That is 42 points of bludgeoning damage
Yeah.
on the crit.
Then I am at 0.
Alright. Yep, just kind of whacks Faith on the ground, knocks it out. Zolgath just kind of release Faith, because you're nothing now. And then it's going to move over to here and do the same thing with Marion. And just attempt to squish Marion with a big maul. That's a 26 to hit you, Marion.
That would hit, yeah.
Okay, 21 points of bludgeoning damage. And the Zolgath Spine Snapper earns its name. Faith, you don't go yet. You go just before this guy. So we're on to Fabian, actually. You run away and you turn back and you see Faith's unconscious form.
Oh dear.
When did they grip their mauls, though? Because didn't this one grab Ararshus?
That's
like,
true.
at
It
random?
would have to have gotten out its maul. So yeah, fair enough. I'll say that I'll take back the attack on Marion. That 21 points of bludgeoning damage, because it would have had to grab its maul. But it's coming toward you with a big scary maul now.
Yeah, that's not great. Not good at all.
You had a brief insight as to what might happen.
Yes.
It's kind of squishy. Fabian, what you doing?
Oh, Horatio, give me backup. I'm gonna try and. At least I'm not slowed anymore, so that's good.
Mhm.
I will walk over. I will attempt to feint. Oh, that's not good.
No, you're not very confident in yourself, so.
And then I will strike.
But a 34 is enough for a crit. So that's 20 plus the deadly d8. So 24 points of damage. The rapier does cut into it deep. It yells out in pain as it is bloodied. So there's your 3 actions. Marion, you got some big boys around you. What you doing?
This all sucks. This all sucks a lot. Jesus. Math. I have to math. 30-foot emanation. That's enough to hit everybody. But that also gets all of them too. Is that worth it? I don't know. Okay. We're gonna look at net healing. Okay. 3d8 to 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different people. That's like 60 points of healing. That's about on point with what a 2 action would do to one person.
But also factor in that we would have another round of some of the attacking because Faith would be up.
Yeah. I'm
Faith
gonna
is
hit
battle medicine.
Faith with a 2 action heal at 3rd level.
So I
Alright.
gain 38.
Yes. 38 hit points. And I stride away.
All right. You
I
see
blow a
Faith.
raspberry at them.
As you kind of, and it's Faith. Faith, you did fall prone when you fell to the ground unconscious, but now you immediately come back up better and see Marion going bye bye. Everyone else. Oarshisk.
I'm just gonna attack. We're just gonna lay into this thing.
Okay.
I just realized it would have been better if I had moved to flank. Oh well.
A 19 is not quite enough. It dodges out of the way.
We're gonna try a confident finisher on the second one. Yeah, confident finisher on the.
Ooh. A 29 will hit.
It's not a crit though, is it?
It's not a crit.
Oh, because the 19 didn't hit. That would have been a very nice crit.
Yeah.
So instead of the 3 precision damage, I do 3d6 damage.
Nice.
So that is.
15.
Yep, 15.
All right, it's looking pretty bad as you slice across it, claw and, spiked fist going after each other, one after the other.
That
So-
was 2 actions.
Yeah, that's 2.
I guess raise a shield.
All right, you put your buckler up, and you are
Then I'm no longer
no
frightened.
longer frightened. Horatio.
Well, I can lightning bolt any 2 of the 3. Well, I can't do these 2. That would be suicidal. Better to hit the spellcaster and then let Oarshisk move in, or to go for the 2 big guys. This guy isn't even bloodied. So I'm gonna need a step here, and then I can just barely do a line.
Thread the needle between Fabian and Faith.
So I will use step. Where is it? Terrain bonded item to get lightning bolt back, and then lightning bolt. That is a better damage roll than last time.
First one, the big boy in the way, will fail. The spellcaster in the back will succeed. So 28 points of lightning damage to this guy. Brutal. Gets zapped pretty hard. Still standing there. The spellcaster in the back, as it's about to go toward Oarshisk, the lightning strikes it. It tries to get out of the way, but it singes and burns up these red robes. You see this Zolgath scream in pain. It's very disturbing because it's still smiling the entire time. You see this silver diadem that was on its head fall back, and as it burns to an ashy crisp. Dead. Alright. But then, these bad boys still up. So he's gonna take out his maul and just try again. We're gonna smack Fabian into next week. So, bam! That's a natural 1 on the maul strike. You are so good at avoiding mauls, Fabian. You dodge to one side. Is it? Since that was a brutal blow, that is all of the actions it has for its go. Faith, you're prone but unconscious. What do you do?
I'm gonna stand up. So I guess that's a move action.
That is a move action. 1 action.
I'm gonna try to tumble through this one.
Alrighty.
Acrobatics.
Yep. Oh yeah, no problem. That's a critical success, I'm pretty sure.
Not that matters.
That doesn't really matter, though.
If I was here, am I
Mhm.
still flanking?
I
I
don't...
think you have to be here.
Or I have
Be
to be
here.
here?
Or above it.
Yeah, that'd be flanking.
Okay, I'll go to here. So that was
Right, you
1, 2,
dodge beside its legs.
and then I'm gonna key flurry on this guy.
19 will hit its flat-footed AC. You go to just punch, and you hit right in the back of the kneecap. It kind of explodes out. He collapses from the pain. Dead.
Well, I guess I am done.
All right. Punch, punch.
Yes, make our fortitude save.
Well, he fails because he did. Well,
The status penalty to fortitude saves on.
unconscious. Pretty extreme. Well, then this one's gonna come up to you, Faith, and be like, "No, stay down." Go an overhand brutal strike against you, Faith. Wow. Get the end, guys. It's a bad showing. A 19 to hit you.
They're like demoralized.
They're
That will miss.
yeah, they're pretty upset at this point. Everything is going just tits up. Fabian.
Okay. Let's get into flinging position. Strike the first.
Yep, that 26 will indeed hit. For 7 plus 9, 16 points of damage. It is bloodied from that. Following up with the second rapier strike, it does turn around and parry that one aside.
Okay, that's me.
Marion.
Let's shoot the bow.
Let's shoot the bow. Let's shoot the bow.
Hey, that's a pretty good roll.
23, yeah. Boom. Peppers an arrow into him for 3 points of damage.
And second attack, nope, that's no good. I'm just gonna move here to add another flanking point for Ararchisk.
Awarshisk. Flanking point opens up.
We're gonna leap into position. And claw.
A 30 with its flat-footed AC is a critical hit. 32 points of damage. It is barely standing after that.
Second attack?
It holds up the maul to parry aside the blow. With everyone ganging around it, Horatio, the opportunity comes to you.
It is. To center. It is 30 feet away, which means electric arc.
Lightning gathered all around you. You go to zap it, and it critically fails its save. Once more, Horatio's lightning fries his Olgaf. Its eyes explode out as it fries and falls beside its two large compatriots on a big pile. The other spellcaster lying not too far off as the din of the battle quiets in the middle of this temple to Aroden. You take a breather, alive for the time being, and stare out. The rest of the temple, the pews in here, the benches, all desecrated, destroyed, and everything. But a pulpit stands intact on the dais, empty, ominous, calling from ancient ages out to the circus performers in this temple. What does it say? We'll find out next time on Really Playing Games Extinction.